Today I'm going to be talking about the pros and cons of living in Bridgeport, Connecticut. And the reason I'm redoing this video is because a lot of things have changed since the last time I made a pros and cons of Bridgeport. Prices have increased, a lot of the areas have gotten better, and overall there's a lot more economy in Bridgeport, Connecticut from the time I did the last video, which I believe was about a year ago. So things have been changing in Bridgeport. Another thing I want to talk about real quick is that affordability has gone down in Bridgeport. But let's wait no further. Let me start the video and I'm going to go into each of these in detail. The first pro of living in Bridgeport, Connecticut is the proximity to New York City. This is a big deal because a lot of people go to New York City to work. This is a bigger deal because usually people travel to the cities because jobs pay a lot more there. So a lot of people still want to work in the city but live somewhere close enough to where they can commute. And Bridgeport is perfect for those people. That's one of the reasons that prices keep increasing in Bridgeport, Connecticut, because of its proximity to New York. Another big advantage with having the city an hour away is that if you want to be entertained, you want to go watch a play, they have a lot of boxing events, they have a lot of sporting events in New York City. So you're close to all of that. So if you're a big fan of doing those type of activities, then Bridgeport is a great city to live in because all you have to do is drive or take the train and you'll be there in an hour to an hour and a half, which is a big deal because not a lot of places are that close to some of the best entertainment in the world. One of the cons of living in Bridgeport, Connecticut is the economic challenges, but this is changing drastically. Bridgeport, in my opinion, is getting gentrified. There's 2 new Starbucks, there's Chipotle, and usually when you see those restaurants, that means that the city is starting to get gentrified. Not only that, they actually just approved a $400 million construction of condos close to the beach. So this means that big money is coming into the city. So while there is still areas with a lot of economic challenges, prices are going to continue to increase in Bridgeport because it is the last affordable place or semi-affordable place close to New York City in Connecticut. However, there is still some areas that have some economic challenges, but those areas keep shrinking and shrinking. So this is a con right now, but in the future, in the close future, this is no longer gonna be a con. There's still gonna be poverty in Bridgeport, but not as much. Another pro of living in Bridgeport, Connecticut is affordable housing. Now homes are still a little bit affordable, but that is changing fast. You used to be able to get a house for $250,000, $300K in Bridgeport, Connecticut. Nowadays, you're paying $350,000 to $400K for the same property. And multifamilies have almost doubled in price. At the moment, Bridgeport, Connecticut is the last affordable place in Fairfield County. But like I mentioned, these things have been changing and continue to change. So don't expect Bridgeport to be affordable in 2 to 3 years because prices continue to increase. Even now, people don't associate Bridgeport with affordability anymore. There's still that stereotype, but it's quickly going away because $350,000, $400K for a single family, it's not that affordable. Especially when you used to be able to buy a house for about 33% less. Now the affordable places have been changing. And even those places that are now considered affordable are increasing in price. An example is Waterbury. Waterbury is increasing in price drastically. So even those places that were usually more affordable than Bridgeport are becoming not affordable. A con with Bridgeport, Connecticut is the crime rate. There's still a lot of crime in Bridgeport, Connecticut. That is because it's a city. A city always has crime. Just think about New York. Just think about every big city. It has a lot of crime. Now, Bridgeport might have more crime than usual, but that's why it's a con on this list. So crime is one of the big cons of living in Bridgeport, Connecticut. Now, it's not like that in all of Bridgeport, but in specific pockets of Bridgeport, Connecticut, you are more prone to see crime or to have crime happen around you. One of the biggest pros of living in Bridgeport, Connecticut is the diversity. In Bridgeport, you have everybody. You have Hispanics, you have blacks, you have whites, you have Asians, you have a lot of Indian people. Bridgeport is very diverse. And I cannot say the same about a lot of Connecticut. Especially once you go deeper into Connecticut, that won't be the case. And one thing that I want to mention is that in Bridgeport, the diversity brings a lot of culture to the area. There's usually events in the summer in Seaside Park where people are celebrating their culture. And these are big events where everybody is welcome. Everybody goes. It's almost like a festival. You go and celebrate each other's culture. And I think that's a huge pro of living in Bridgeport, because it's almost like its own community. A con with Bridgeport, Connecticut is their education system. So prices have increased in Bridgeport, but the education system has not increased with the price increase. the education system has stayed the same. It hasn't improved. And even though this area is becoming expensive, the city doesn't seem to care about increasing the education level. There's a lot of areas in Connecticut where the education system wasn't that good, but prices increased, areas got better, and now they're building new schools. And I haven't heard of Bridgeport doing the same. Maybe they're thinking or planning about building new schools that have better education, but at the moment, that's not the case. So that is a big drawback with Bridgeport, is the fact that the education system is not good and it's not increasing. What this means is that you're gonna pay a good amount for a house, but if you have kids, the kids are not gonna go to the best education system. At that point, I recommend you just to move to the city next to it and go to Stratford, Connecticut. Houses are a little bit more expensive there. The education system is good. A huge pro of Bridgeport, Connecticut is its parks and that your waterfront. Bridgeport, Connecticut has Bursley Park and there's a zoo there. You can take your kids on the weekends. You can also go fishing to Bursley Park. You also got Seaside Park, which is the beach. You can also go fishing. You can go work out. There's a lot of people roller skating. There's a lot to do in Seaside Park and in Bursley Park. And a lot of people on the weekends, they don't have much to do. So these two parks alone give people a lot to do, especially in the summer. And in the winter, people can go to Bursley Park and they can sled down the hills. So these two parks bring a lot of value to Bridgeport, Connecticut, in my opinion. And in my opinion, Seaside Park is one of the best parks or beaches in all of Connecticut. Also, for those that like to go to the beach, Seaside Park has food in the summer and they have one of the nicest and cleanest beaches. So it's very welcoming. So if that's something that you're into and you're looking into moving to an area close to Bridgeport, Connecticut, then Bridgeport, Connecticut might be the best option for you. One of the biggest cons of living in Bridgeport, Connecticut is transportation issues. And what I mean by this is the traffic on the 95. There's a lot of traffic on the 95. Not only that, public transportation, the buses, the train, everything around the area of Bridgeport, Connecticut is always filled with people. It's like New Haven. The public transportation is at max capacity. And this is a con because instead of growing the public transportation to help the economy of Bridgeport, it just stays the same. Not only that, it seems to be getting worse. Since more and more people are moving to Bridgeport, Connecticut and the areas around it, the traffic on the 95 is getting worse. There's more people on public transportation and the trains in the morning, especially around 7, 8, 9 a.m. are filled with people going to work to New York City. This is one of the big cons of living in Bridgeport. The traffic and that public transportation is good, it's efficient, but it's overfilled with people. Another pro of living in Bridgeport, Connecticut is the culture and the art museums. In Bridgeport, there's a lot of art museums and like I mentioned, there's a lot of culture. So if you like to enjoy other people's culture, then Bridgeport, Connecticut is a great place for you to go live. The final con that I'm going to be talking about Bridgeport, Connecticut is the infrastructure. Bridgeport, Connecticut is very old. The houses in Bridgeport, Connecticut are very old. A lot of houses are from the 1920s, a lot of them are from the 1900s, and some may be even from the 1800s. So the houses are very old. I'm not saying that they're bad quality, but the buildings themselves are old. There's a lot of old factories that were abandoned. However, those are being torn down and they're being rebuilt into new condos or new luxury apartments. And that's because of the gentrification that I mentioned earlier in the video. Now, gentrification is bad, but if you wanna make money or if you own properties in Bridgeport, Connecticut, then this is good. If you're thinking about investing in Bridgeport, Connecticut, then prices are no longer what they used to be 2-3 years ago when they were very cheap. But I think there's still an opportunity to buy in Bridgeport because I think that we still haven't hit the top. I think we're still gonna see prices increase probably another 10 to 20% in Bridgeport, Connecticut. And the reason I believe this is because the rents are very high. 2 bedrooms, $1,700, 3 bedrooms, $2,000, $2,100, even more. So these rents support higher prices. Even though the houses are old, I think that you should still buy because houses that are old but are well maintained a lot of times are better than newer houses. And there you have it, the pros and cons of living in Bridgeport, Connecticut. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. If you want someone to help you buy a property in Bridgeport or any area in Connecticut, let me know and I'll be more than happy to show you around and try to help you out as much as I can with purchasing your property. Like always, leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye.